I love a good sprawling story, all these people, all these different events going on. I love it. And then if you make it a Western, yeah, I'm even more intrigued. So I was really looking forward to this movie. So let's talk about Kevin Costner's first directorial effort since Open Range back in 2003. This is Horizon, an American Saga. So, judging by the very vocal couple sitting next to me, yes, they were having full conversations during the movie, which I love. Anyway, here's what I think was missing from the marketing: that this is chapter one of a planned 4 films. Yes, part 2 comes out August 16th. So, yeah, this is just the first part. And I don't think these people understood that. And something that you can infer from that, the fact that this is only part 1 of possibly 4 parts, is that yeah, these are multiple stories. They're taking place in pre and sort of during and post Civil War America. And because this is clearly building towards something that we haven't seen yet, not everything is going to connect. Makes sense, right? Now, I said it before. I'm into the big sprawling story with a bunch of different characters. You know what I'm saying? But we're being shown all of these groups of people, and at first it felt messy to me, like the way that they were introduced. And I was kind of like, wait a minute, who are these people? My suggestion to you is to just let it wash over you. Don't try and figure out who's who and how everything's connected. You'll start to ease into the story, and it's leisurely paced as well. So that's one of those things that you just kind of have to let the movie, just wash over you, just ease into it. That's my best advice. I feel like there are going to be some people that are like 3 hours, over 3 hours. It's at 3 hours and 1 minute. But yeah, that's just too long, especially for something that's just a part 1. But I loved it. I really enjoy a movie that's going to take its time and, build characters and build situations and see how things kind of build off of things that happen and how things progress. It's made for someone like me. Now, I will say that my theater wasn't packed, but for a 3 p.m. showing, I was actually kind of impressed at how many people were there. But I was definitely like one of the youngest people in the audience, like for sure. And even though I'm starting to get up there in the years, I mean, I'm no spring chicken anymore. I think I've always been sort of an old soul when it comes to movies and the way that I watch movies. Like, I love the grandeur of cinema and not just this blockbuster sort of thing that we find ourselves in where it's got to be this huge thing every time. I like being able to take time to get to know somebody, and all the while looking at this beautiful vista. I'm into that. And yeah, that's the thing that I kept thinking while I was sitting there watching it is, man, I love it when you shoot on location, because this was shot in Utah. And having recently visited Utah, I can tell you that, yeah, the vistas here were gorgeous. And even in some cases where I'm like, I think I was there. I think I saw that. So it was just, it was awesome. And my biggest regret is that my theater wasn't showing it on the largest screen they had. So I feel like that could have used it. So maybe if you go see it, seek out the bigger screen because it's worth it. I think the cinematography was excellent. Like, it was beautifully shot. And I think the score actually adds to it. It actually feels like a classic movie. It's kind of strange how it can feel like that, but I really dug everything about that. The only thing that I can say that felt a little bit more modern was the sound design, because when things go down, it's loud and it's supposed to be kind of scary. And that was really, really cool. And I think look, there's probably more and I probably just wasn't paying attention, but I only saw one little shot that felt like, okay, that's obviously visual effects. But other than that, it's just beautiful. The acting is superb across the board, and I will want to mention some of the highlights, some of the people that really stood out. But trust me when I tell you, this is full of character actors, and it's awesome. Especially if you've seen a lot of movies, you're going to go, oh, wow, I didn't know they were in this. This is awesome. And there's a couple of surprises. One of my favorite character actors, like of all time, is in this movie, and I had no idea, so I don't want to spoil that for you. But the highlights, Sienna Miller. Look, I've never seen her in a role like this, and I think she acquitted herself rather well. Like, I was seriously impressed with her performance here. Like, I've never seen her do anything like this. And with the the realness of her performance, it's really good stuff. Sam Worthington. Now I know there's a lot of people that are kind of like, oh, him, he's like a cardboard cutout, he could be anybody. But I've always thought he had charisma, and I think he really does a good job here. And I was even more impressed that he doesn't sound like someone trying to do an American accent. Here, it actually sounds like an American accent, which I was really impressed. I was like, wow, he's doing really well here. Gina Malone. Now her part, she's a bit of a firecracker in this movie, and I've always enjoyed her work. Ever since I saw her way back in Contact, that's like 97, okay? I thought, wow, she's going to grow up and be a star, and I don't think she ever quite got there. But she's always done solid character work since then, and I think she does a great job here. But I think the one that everyone's going to come away from this movie going, okay, whoa, is Jamie Campbell Bower. Because I got to say, where did this guy come from? Like, it's funny. I'm looking through his filmography, and he's been in these big movies in small little roles. And I think this is a star-making performance from him. He was so impressive. And the costume design. There's one shot of him in the movie that actually made me think, holy crap, he could be like, if they ever did a live action, say, I don't know, Castlevania, he could play Alucard perfectly. There's something about that. And I know there's going to be some people that are like, what are you talking about? Trust me. He had so much swagger that it was awesome. It was really, really cool. Now, of course, you might be thinking, well, what about Kevin Costner? I mean, he is the star of this movie, right? Well, he's the star of his own segment. And as I said, there are multiple segments of the film, and he is the star of that one segment. But it's also intertwined with a lot of the other stories being told. So he's not like the focus. I actually applaud him for that because in a lot of ways, he's been kind of known, maybe in the press, as kind of almost like a diva a little bit, It's like it's all about me. I love the fact that he's letting other people shine, and he's letting, and not just in the way that the story's told, but the way that he focuses on others. There's a scene in the movie, and you'll know if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, with a certain character, and he's in it, but he's not the focus of this of the whole scene, and he lets this other actor shine. And I was just sitting there kind of going, you know what, good for you, Kevin. That's a good director. Do what's best for the story, and for the story in this part, that other character needed the focus, and I think that's really cool, and I really enjoyed that. So overall, I would say that yeah, this is a fun movie. This is a really fun movie. I don't think it's the best Western I've ever seen. It'll be interesting to see how the future parts play out. I'm certainly hoping that he gets to do all 4 parts, tell the whole story. But I will say this, and it's not really a spoiler. It isn't. It has nothing to do with the story being told. But the movie ends with sort of a trailer, in a way, of the next part. And the next part comes out, like I said, on August 16th. And I got to say, there are some shots in that made me go, okay, bring it on. I'm there. Opening day. Bring on part 2. And I think that's probably the best thing that I can say about it. So, Horizon, an American Saga. Look, I'm rooting for this movie now. I'm rooting for this movie to at least make its money back so that they can continue this story. I think it's great that we're still making a Western of this magnitude in this day and age. I mean, especially with all the, talks of the volume and things like that. I mean, we're shooting on location. We've got a huge sprawling cast. I really enjoyed it. So I'm curious, are you going to go see this movie, or have you already seen it? Let's talk about it down in the comment section, because that's where all the fun is. I mean, not all the fun, some of the fun. It's fun sometimes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.